All right. There we go. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are we good? Am I coming in loud and clear? There we go. Hey, what's going on, Cam? How you doing, man? Awesome. Good timing, good timing. What's going on, Fish Army? Yeah, Professor Bass is back. First. Oh, actually, you are first. Bet. Hey, what's going on, Sammy? Yeah, Sammy, Fish Army's first today. A little slow, my guy. A little slow. Let's blame it on the Wi-Fi, right? I'm good. Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. How you been? What you been up to? I'm all good though, guys, right? Hear me, see me, all that good stuff. Let's get today started. I have a lot to talk about. Well, we have a lot to talk about. So, let's get this cracking. You know what I'm here for. You know what I'm on. You know what I'm here to do. Give me 1 second, though. Un momento, por favor. There we are. Okay, there we go. Begin to ask me your questions, any questions. The desires of your heart, as they call them. I let them have it. Fair play, fair play. Usually that's a good question though. Who's usually first, Sammy or Fish Army? I gotta figure that out later. I think it's usually Fish Army. To be fair though, Fish Army does have tenor on you, Sammy. He's been here longer, but you know. What's that behind me? Oh, you can see him? Oh, good for you. Good for you. You must have strong eyes. Good for you. Only people with a certain perception can see him. So if you can, good for you. How you doing, Esat? What's going on, baby? How you doing? All right, let's get this started. Ask me all your questions and your croissants, and I will answer. I can only be here for about an hour, about give or take another 10 minutes on top of that, but around there. So, let's get this started. Oluwajefemi is crazy. Oluwajefemi Kayode the third. We meet yet again. I must pick your Igbo genius brain. Go ahead. I'm courting a snow bunny and I wish to harvest her, please. Courting a snow bunny, wish to harvest her is crazy. Those are not words that should go together. How did you meet this snow bunny? How did you come across this Oyibo Pepe? Should I let your girl do what? I'm going to the club tonight, or hide it from her. Oh, let her know you're going to the club or hide it from her. Just let her know. You should be able to exist in your own relationship freely. If you're the kind of guy that goes to the club, tell her, hey baby, I'm going to the club. All she's gonna say is, bye, have fun, come back home safe. That's it. And then go from there. You say the most selfish thing to be is selfless without asking for anything in return. How do I know when to start asking for things so I don't get taken advantage of like a simp? Well, the law of reciprocity kind of does the heavy lifting for you. When you give value, it is in human nature to want to give back, right? It's only a very few people that you come across where they're okay with taking and not giving anything in return. And with those people, where you draw that line is you notice that they're comfortable with taking without giving anything in return, and you just kind of like, okay, this is not the kind of person I should be dealing with. You can cut them off from there, or you can ask them directly, and if they decide to get funny about their compliance, then move on. But for the most part, reciprocity will do the heavy lifting for you. People want to give you back when you give to them, especially when they believe it's massive value you're giving to them. You feel me? Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. Your glasses are beautiful. Thank you. They're also glassless. Oh no, you're not late, man. I just got here. I saw me. You're good, man. You're good. I remember you, the Cowboy 720. Isn't that the guy that keeps going into everyone's lives and asking for donations? Man, that's a lot of effort, though. I don't know if that's automated or that's something you're just copying and pasting in every life. But if you put like half that amount of effort into like building something, you would not be homeless anymore. Assuming you are, because I don't usually believe these sob stories. The course is beautiful, by the way. I binge watched it all night. Thank you. I put my fucking ass, what do kids call it these days? My badussi. I put my badussi into it. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And more to come, by the way. It's not like that's the entirety of it. So a lot more to come. What do I do when she gets mad at me for liking other girls' pictures? You talk some sense to her. What is this? The fucking sign that our relationship is over now? Like, chill out. There's only one reason. Okay, let me give you a bit of girl logic, right? If at all a woman is mad at you for liking other girls' photos on Instagram, there's only really one reason they hate that shit. It's because of how it makes them look to that girl. And that's simply because, and follow me on this, men, this is going to blow your mind. Women, they already know this, but men, this is going to blow your fucking mind. In women's world, they've created all these abstracts and rules that they exist by. One of them is that apparently, whatever a man does on Instagram has real life ramifications. So when a man likes, double taps a girl's photo on Instagram, women think to themselves, this is like their logic, oh, I now have the ability, like this is if it's the woman whose picture got liked, right? I now have the ability to steal that man from that woman because he liked my picture. That is girl logic. I know it sounds fucking stupid, but this is what they believe. And that is why women hate that shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the real reason they hate it. They hate it because of the superiority they believe it gives the other girl. Like, again, goofy, I know. But this is what they believe. So if you can just explain to her that that's not how men function, that's not why we like photos on Instagram if we bother to at all. And just tell her to calm her titties, man. It's not that big a deal. Chill out. Never allow a woman to make something that is not a big deal become a big deal. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, validate her feelings. No, sometimes her feelings are just fucking wrong. No, that is not a big deal. Leave it as a small deal as it should be. Never try to amplify anything that doesn't need amplification. You feel me? Bro, you talked about investments. Can you elaborate? So investment as far as like relationships and emotional investment, I'm talking more about how much of themselves they're willing to give to you. From a psychological point of view, from an emotional point of view, anything that they do and are willing to do to put into the relationship, thinking more about you, feeling more around you, etc. That's what I mean by investment. And the point to investment, this is why investment is a beautiful thing, is that as humans, we have this innate need to try to get a return on our investment. So the more you can get her to invest in you, the more you trigger that need she has to get a return on her investment. And ironically, the more willing she is to invest more, because you can get people to believe that they can get a return on their investment by investing more. It's beautiful. So it's really just a way to get her to invest in the relationship more, and as a result, put more skin in the game, so to speak. He definitely related to Dr. Umar asking for donations. That's funny. Does Dr. Umar ask for donations? Is that what he does? Is that his thing? I thought he was selling something. I thought he was providing something. Doesn't he have like a school or something? Isn't he like a principal? I'm not too familiar with his, his inner workings, but I know like what he talks about. I had a girl I effed up with because of way too much tension a week later. She has a provider boyfriend. Ha 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 ha. But I mean, you know, you already know he's a provider type boyfriend. That'll end soon enough and you'll slide right in there. You'll be fine. I approached over 10 women over the past week, rejected every time, but feeling amazing. Very good. Like I've never been this confident in my life. They were all soft or polite rejections. That's really good too, because that's most rejections. A lot of people really believe like, you know, women are these evil creatures that'll go out of their way to destroy your ego if you try to holler at them and they reject you. In reality, most women are just trying to get out of the situation as calmly and as, you know, politely as they possibly can. Women are pretty nice as far as a creature. Like, they're pretty fucking nice as far as they go. So, yeah, this is how it goes. Even those rejections, even though you're not, like, scoring, so to speak, you're at least building that muscle, right? You're training that muscle of just talking to people you don't know, talking to strangers, and getting good at that. So, well done. I'm happy for you. Most men, honestly, will never even cross that boundary. So, you've done a lot better than 90% of men. Well done. I'm gonna rewatch it and make some notes. You got a lot more to watch. I'm putting more up though. I have guys at my job telling me I should try being friends with women. Thoughts? They say you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot being friends with women. It's very true. But I say you learn a lot faster when you're dating them and like dating multiple women, not just one woman at a time, right? So here's what they mean by you'll learn a lot. When you become friends with a woman, what naturally happens, if you know how to stay in the right pocket of friendship, is that they get really comfortable around you. That's when you start getting information about women and their inner workings that you're not usually supposed to get if they saw you as a threat. That's kind of why the friend zone is low-key an insult, is that they essentially don't see you as a threat, so they put you in there because you're just some guy that they're willing to get free attention out of. But yeah, women behave very differently around men that they feel very comfortable around. And that's when you begin to hear eye-opening information. But here's the thing though, is like, if you were to just date multiple women, you get the benefit of dating multiple women, and you also get all that information because you will inevitably run into women that begin to trust you with less than ideal information about themselves. They just will. Because they notice, okay, you're the kind of guy that's got women around them all the time. You're probably used to getting bad news and not flinching. And then from that point, it's just a matter of, okay, cool, let me tell you this about myself. They test it a little bit. Women are always testing, right? They'll give you a little bit of information, see how you respond. If you don't freak out, they give you more. And then next thing you know, you have this wealth of knowledge, and it'll usually come in the form of gossip, right? So it's this gossip and wealth of knowledge about women and how they work and how they think. That's just like, man, these are very interesting creatures, you know? Let's see. Badussi without a pause is crazy. I'm not even putting a pause in there. Fuck that. I put my entire Badussi in it. The entirety of it. The whole Badussi. How do you recover after she said she could never trust you again? The reason she says she can't trust you is because you did something that was very unpredictable and chaotic. It's funny because I actually just made a video about that, but I will be posting that tomorrow. All you gotta do to correct that is reassurance, man. That's really what it comes down to. But it's gonna have to be reassurance in like your action and your words, and they have to be aligned. Because if she's saying she doesn't trust you, that means you did something that broke her trust, or maybe you didn't have the trust to begin with, and she's just saying again for effect. But the point is, you did something unpredictable. That's it. It's not deeper than that. People try to make it look like it's deeper and more important than that. Oh, it's her trust. She will never get it again. Bullshit. Women are very emotional creatures. Their feelings change like the wind. So trust me, there's no permanence to what she said. All you got to do, though, is you probably want to change your behavior, whatever it is. As long as that change in behavior doesn't mean you destroy your identity or you fucking fundamentally change as a person because of her. You don't want to do that. But for the most part, like, yeah, just a change in your behavior and words and you should be fine. Let's see. Low, so we can use likes to create tension that's low-key stupid. Yes, you mean likes on Instagram? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can use it to create competition anxiety. One thing women are very concerned about is what kind of girls you follow on Instagram. Lucky for me, every woman I follow on Instagram, I know. So, good luck with that. But yeah, they're concerned about shit like that. Like, that's a big deal in their minds. And to be fair, you know what? I am dismissive of most things women do and say. But that they might have a point. They might have us there, guys. Because if you bother following them on Instagram, that means you do find them attractive. You do like them. Again, not me. I follow girls I literally know. So, the rules are different for me. But for the average guy, I think that's just like following Instagram models and shit. Sure, if she looks nothing like the Instagram model that you're following, she has cause for concern there, right? If she's a short Latina and you're following these tall blonde white chicks, it's competition anxiety, but it's also like to the point where, because how can she fundamentally change what she is to meet what is clearly your fantasy, your preference, right? So yeah, they might have a point there. I ain't gonna lie. With women, your thoughts. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, friends with women. I already answered that question. Any advice on gaming female bartenders? The game is the same for female bartenders. Rule number 1, do not buy shit. Whenever you're dealing with hired guns, and by the way, there's an entire chapter in The Mystery Method for dealing with girls that are working or girls that are hired for their beauty. So that's your bottle service girls, your bartenders, your waitresses, your fucking gym models and fitness models, your Hooters girls, whatever, right? The first rule is never buy anything. Never allow yourself to enter the category of customer, right? This is especially true with strippers too, by the way. The moment you become a paying customer, you've allowed yourself to enter that category of, I'm the guy that's here to pay for a service from you. This relationship from this point on is purely transactional from a monetary point of view. So that's the first thing. Don't buy shit. If at all you do buy anything, make sure it's from the other bartender, someone else out there. Like, find a way to get the thing you want there from some other service worker that isn't the girl you want. Secondly, you want to make sure that you're aggressively teasing. The reason it's actually very, useful there is that, one, it completely jolts her out of her normal, I call it the customer representative voice, right? Every girl, when they're working, they have this voice that they use to talk to customers. They have this higher pitched, nicer voice that they're talking to people. And you'll know you now started a real conversation with her when that voice is gone, when that pitch lowers, when that conversation becomes more real. That's when you know you have her in a real conversation. And then from then on, it's just a matter of going with regular game. Flirt, tease, nag a little bit if she's super hot and she can handle it, and then go from there. But for the most part, don't start out being a fucking customer. You feel me? I'm going to be staying in a smallish hotel or resort for 5 days. Cold or warm approach with girls. You don't have the opportunity for warm approach. What warm approach? You're in that resort, I'm guessing, for the first time, and you're only going to be there for 5 days. Ain't no fucking warm approach. What you want to do? You want to get around other girls there for like the first 4 days and then close on the 5th. You have the resort. That's a waste of a fucking opportunity. You can do the whole foreign fling with them because you are what we call, if you play this correctly, you are foreign dick. Women don't count foreign dick in their head, right? You're the guy she fucked out of convenience that isn't gonna follow her in terms of consequences back home. You should play that angle. So it should be cold approach. It should be cold approach. Meet with these girls, sexualize things as quickly as you can, bring them back to your room, and then just fucking rinse and repeat. Fucking rinse and repeat as many times as you want. You can do a rinse and repeat thing with different girls. You can find the one girl you really like and then just spend the remaining fucking 4 or 3 days with her and then go from there. But no, ain't no fucking warm approaches. Hell no. The chances of you meeting these girls again are slim any fucking way. So just keep it all there in that pocket, in that fantasy pocket. Be that sexy foreign dick and then just bounce. You feel me? The GOAT is here. Yes, indeed. But not Jace. Professor Bass. Good to see you, Sensei. Thank you, man. Good to see you. Please explain why both Michael B. Jordan and Damson Idris fumbled Lori Harvey. I thought Damson had good game. What is it about Lori Harvey? Nothing really. It's just their overinvestment in her. That's really it. Like, whenever you see all all the guys falling for the same girl and fumbling her, so to speak. It really just comes down to them allowing themselves to be the party that invested more than she did. That's really it. Like, there's nothing fundamentally more special about Lori Harvey than any other woman. I can guarantee you that. Like, she looks good, don't get it twisted, but not that good, first of all. Second of all, this is not, I can't imagine this is actually an interesting person. This is a daddy's rich little girl. So if at all these guys are getting completely bamboozled by her, it's because they're getting caught up in the moment. I call it the Kardashian effect. If you notice very carefully, remember this is a few years ago where all the Kardashian girls, the Kardashian/Jenner girls, they were all known as like the man eaters. Oh, look at them. They date any man and they throw them to the side, and all those guys are still obsessed with them, but they just move on to the next guy. The reason they can rack up a fucking reputation like that is because any guy that dates a Kardashian allows it to get to their head and loses their fucking frame. That's really it. They begin to see dating the woman as more important than their actual fucking identity. Right? So the idea is, if you ever are in a position to date a Lori Harvey or any Kardashian or whoever the fuck is the new it girl now, just make sure you remember that it's you that brings the value. Right, you are the more important person there. Her life is better because of you. If she decides to leave or you decide to end the relationship, it is not going to be the fucking end of the world. Nothing bad is going to happen. Just chuck your dishes up and bounce. Don't allow all the new benefits that come with dating celebrity women to completely overwhelm you. Right? Oh, I'm walking out with her. There's paparazzi everywhere. Oh, I'm going to these expensive places. We're getting everything for free because I'm with her. I get it. It gets, it gets crazy. It gets, it's overwhelming. It for sure is. And I don't necessarily 100% blame these men for getting carried away like that. But you're still a fucking man, right? Who else am I going to blame, So, Michael, Damson, both of you, fucking do better. Have your balls intact next time and don't allow the woman's world to overwhelm yours. All right? I think that's why she punished them so much, because she knows she doesn't deserve it. Exactly. And by the way, shout out to you, Dimitri. How you doing, man? I hope you saw the video I sent you on the drive. But yeah, you're very correct about that. On a level, a lot of these women genuinely don't believe they deserve the men that they date. So they self-sabotage and they take it out on the men that they date. Because it's almost like a way of saying, why would you date a woman like me? I'm going to punish you for making such a dumb mistake like that. Like, let's be honest. Like, really put yourself in Lori Harvey's situation. That's why Lori Harvey in particular pisses me off. I don't hate the woman, but let's just say if she ever became my girl, if for whatever fucked up reason, God put me in her path or she put her in my path, she'd be fucked, because I'd be the one guy that's just like, your dad isn't even famous. It's your stepdad. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Lori Harvey, shut the fuck up. You do nothing. You have nothing. You know nothing. I would make her feel so little. Right? That's why God got to keep girls like her away from me, man. The girls I have in my life, they have substance. That's why they can survive with me. I can't just look at any of the girls I'm dating right now and be like, you're nothing. That's not going to work. These are fucking sophisticated, bougie-ass women who actually have shit going on for themselves. I would fucking trample a Lori Harvey, straight up. And I'm not saying that to brag. I've done that many times. You know how many times I had to tell a bitch, you are not even funny. Well, because these fucking weirdos in your DMs are laughing at everything you say. You're not funny. Go ahead, make me laugh. Go ahead, right now. Make me laugh. Say something funny. I would be that kind of boyfriend. And I'm not saying she's a bad person. She probably doesn't even deserve that kind of treatment. Hopefully she can keep dating men that treat her like she's the shit. And she never runs into a guy like me. Because if she does, she's going to fucking shave her head when that breakup happens. She's going to fucking shave her head. But yeah, that's why stuff like that happens. The men just get carried away. I was thinking, do you think it was me who created the need for a provider boyfriend? Absolutely. You just hit on what I just said about Lori Harvey. Like, when they run into a guy that challenges them, like for real, like that actually makes them think about themselves and sit down and have a conversation with God. When they run into that guy and they go through the hell of that, Because it's essentially a guy that's forcing them to go through the pain they've been avoiding for years. Girls like that especially. Again, I'm not saying I've dated Lori Harvey, but I've dated enough girls like her to know what I'm talking about. Girls like that are good at sedating themselves. I call them sedators, in fact. Like, that's what they are. They love to live in this, like, constructed fantasy land, this matrix that exists around them and them alone, where all they have is nothing but positive reinforcement for how much of the shit they are. So anything that slightly reminds them that they actually, like, they have nothing, they are nothing, they aren't the shit, they begin to shake, they begin to run away from it, they try to fight it, attack it, they try to discredit it. But if you stand firm in your frame and you're like, but you didn't prove that I was wrong though, did you? Then they begin to crumble, right? So eventually, when you're completely run through them, they will go and find someone that elevates back their walls. Like, you destroy their walls, you remove all their pillars of beliefs. They gotta go find someone that builds the pillars back, and that usually is a provider type that's just gonna be completely nice to her. Oh no, you're Lori Harvey. Like, you see a woman, like what would be a good example? I've seen many examples like this. I don't know why I haven't. Oh, actually, this is a great example. Like a Ciara and Russell Wilson. Like that relationship right there. Why would Ciara go from a 50 Cent and a Future and then go with Russell Wilson? Why would that happen? She needs someone to rebuild her after all those years of dealing with motherfuckers like 50 Cent that can say no. She has to get with someone that can say nothing but yes to make her feel better. That's how it works. That's how it fucking works. Let's see. Much love, bro. Thank you. Always enjoy your lives. Thank you. Appreciate you. I want to start to improve my control with tension around women. How do I know when she's reaching her breaking point, or if I've had her on the roller coaster for too long? She'll give you obvious signs of, like, you know, pulling back, disinterest, stuff like that. But it won't be like a regular silent pullback. It'll be like an aggressive implosion pullback. It won't be like she just stops talking to you or tries to find a sneaky way to get out of there. It'll be more like she'll find a way to outrightly, directly reject you, like auto reject you, because in her mind it'll be like, I have to do something to protect myself and my ego, right? At that point, it's okay to just overcorrect to the other side and just start to give her a little more reassurance. But for the most part, you just gotta wait for them to reach that point and then overcorrect. If you have 75 bodies, what level of game do you have? It depends on how you got the 75 bodies. I keep telling you guys, you can have like a rough thing you can do of explaining the number of bodies versus the level of experience you have. And I have a video talking about something like that. But these are all like estimates, you know? The way you get the bodies and the circumstances under which you gather the bodies are far more important than the actual number of bodies themselves. You know, I know guys with less than 20 bodies that have better game than guys with over 100 bodies, straight up. Well, and why is that? Why would that be the case, you may ask? Well, simple. The guys with less than 20 bodies have a very diversified group of bodies, like different kind of girls, different kind of circumstances, different situations, blah, blah. The guy with like 100 bodies plus that doesn't have as good a game, he just has this like certain niche that he's mastered and just kind of churned out over and over and over and over and over again to get the same result. But he's not versatile in any other situation. Like, you see that all the time. Like these guys that are like very good at this specific kind of night game at this particular time. Like, I know guys that can't get pussy if they don't hit the club at like after 1 a.m. just when the club is coming out and the girls are like half tipsy, not very oriented. They're walking out the club with their shoes in their hand. That's when they're cleaning up, right? Obviously, I don't condone that, but that's their thing. Like, but if you try to tell those guys, okay, cool, go to a fucking Target in the daytime, go and run game on girls that are completely coherent and aren't even in the mood to be talked to by men, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, oh no, what do we do? You know, so yeah, that's how it works. That's literally what it is. It's like, it's the number of approaches. Well, the quality of the approaches and the way you got those bodies that matters more than the actual number, you know? Married woman and got the number, she I feel bad. Don't feel bad. If she gave it to you, that means the marriage is already over anyway. Hey, that's what it is. She gave you the number. Well, I already told you guys, I don't believe in the concept of a home wrecker. No one can destroy a home from the outside, only the inside. All right? If anything, you're just a catalyst to the reaction. You feel me? Let's see. Breaking point, or if I've had her on the roller coaster for too long. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Digital pre-selection is fire. Thank you. Is following IG models a bad look? Absolutely, especially if you don't know them. My rule generally is just only follow girls you know. Only follow girls that you know and that follow you back. So do that. The first lessons of digital pre-selections are very good. You made a huge jump in terms of quality. Yes, I did. There's a reason these things take time, right? I gotta do what I gotta do. What's good? What's good, baby? What's good? What's good, Michael? How you doing, man? What's happening, man? 2 questions. Do you think marriage is worth it? Yes, if you do it correctly. I always tell you guys, it's never the marriage I'm worried about, or like the actual concept of eternal union under God. I'm okay with that. I like that. In fact, I love that. It can be very useful if done correctly, but it has to be done correctly, though. That's the thing. But people don't do it correctly. They don't do it under the right circumstances. They don't create the right room for things to go the way it should go. And then all of a sudden they have these shitty marriages that are built on terrible foundations, and it fails. And they're like, "Oh, marriage fails." It's like, it's not the marriage that failed. It's the 2 people within it that didn't use the institution correctly. She like a 6 though, so may not take it to. Fair enough. Seduction can only happen where there's a lack of fulfillment. Exactly. Very true. You cannot seduce someone that is completely fulfilled. It's not real. It's not possible. Most important one first. Okay, fair enough. You guys were at like 1.4 likes. Thanks. Keep going. Thanks for the 1.4 likes, by the way. 1.4K likes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see. All right, I read that one. I have a super religious Christian friend. I'm trying to get him into game, but he refuses because of religion. Any advice on how I can save him? Bring him to my channel. I talk about game and God. Bring him to my channel. He'll love it here. He will love it here. When to cut off a woman, or cut a woman off? Should you keep dealing with her after she says no to one of your requests? What is the request in question? How long have you been seeing this woman? What part or stage of the relationship are you in? Is this a girl you're actually actively having sex with or not? There's so many other questions I can ask you to really understand your situation, but I would venture to guess the answer to that question is no. Like, there's context behind this. If the request you're asking of her is too great for the level or stage of the relationship you're in, then of course she's gonna say no, right? So you gotta give me more than that. I did, but it's no use. He won't listen. He's also a tall Nigerian, by the way, and he won't listen to me. He won't listen to me. Kilo, where you at? I don't know, man. Wait for him to suffer. That might be just one of those things. Just wait for him to suffer, and when he's nice, down and bad, and crying, then bring him to me. Type shit. Oh, thanks for the roses. You have a video on YouTube about how to go into a state of survival to come out with your best self. I can't find the video anymore, but can you elaborate on this? Are you talking about my isolation live video? That is an entire thing. It's an entire, method and course. But I don't think I have the time to elaborate now. I actually got to jump off soon, but we'll talk about that some other time for sure. Do you think a first date that doesn't end up in kissing is a failed one? Context. It depends. It really depends. I don't care if there was kissing or not, as long as there was sexual tension. I'll be less concerned about the kissing and more concerned about the sexual tension. It's possible to have sexual tension in the air without even touching each other, right? So I'm not worried about if the sexual tension was sealed, so to speak. I just want to know if there was sexual tension. If there wasn't any sexual tension, then yeah. By the way, the vice versa is also true. It's very possible to have a first date where you kissed, but there was no sexual tension. Very, very possible. In fact, I would say most dates are like that, all right? So I look out more for if she was showing signs that, she's ready to go to the next stage with you than anything else. Let's see. Second question, how can I improve my verbal game? I'm out here practicing and I'm good, but just want to get better and have a 10 out of 10 responses. Law of isolation, I remember it now. Yes, we'll talk about law of isolation later, the isolation live. But improving your vocabulary and just improving your verbal game in general. Yeah, it's practice, but honestly, I say watch a lot of long form content. Long form content will teach you a lot of things in one. The ability to speak for a long period of time, the ability to riff through idea after idea without stopping or running out of steam, and just the idea of telling stories. The idea or the concept of telling stories that are relevant to what you're talking about without missing a beat. Watch a lot of long form content. It will help. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Kostov? How you doing? What do you mean by they have things going on for them? Is it business? When I say having things going on for them, I'm not just talking about specifically business. I'm talking about they have things in their life that actually bring them some kind of fulfillment, something that they are proud of. It's very important for everyone to have that, not just men or women, something that they're proud of, even if that thing happens to be the man in their life. Does that make sense? As opposed to just being this thing that exists for the sake of existing. Most people just exist, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's what I mean. How did you master the art of pickup? A lot of practice. That's how you do it. A lot of fucking practice. A lot of approaches, a lot of rejections, a lot of making myself look stupid, embarrassment, pain, all that good stuff. That's how you do it. Lori Harvey? Everyone knows, I think. This girl that ghosted me a couple months ago came back. This makes sense. Is Cristiano Ronaldo a simp? I see signs between him and Georgiana. Or Georgina. Is that his chick? I know she's pretty. I don't know, like, the situation there. I wouldn't call myself the biggest Ronaldo fan. Or the biggest Messi fan, for that matter. I'm a Gigi Okocha guy. Okocha. Okocha. Anyway, let's say I'm on a date and after escalating correctly, she refuses to kiss. Should I end the date? No, no. You should not end the date. Aren't you curious in the least bit why she's not wanting to kiss you? Ask, like, literally, like, what's going on there? What? Because I know you like me and I like you. So what's wrong with that? Do you feel like it's something that will change the way I look at you? What's going on there? Literally ask. I keep telling you guys, if you're confused about why a woman is behaving a certain way, especially if it's in like a first date type of situation, there's no rule that says you can't just outright ask her, like, okay, that thing that you just did there, why? What happened? What's going on? Literally ask. I'm not saying they'll always 100% of the time give you the honest answer, but at least you know where her head is at. You know where her mind and her thinking is going. You feel me? Very important. Me giving her too much tension literally gave her. Oh, I read that one. She came back. Oh yeah, good for her. Good for her, not good for you. Good for her, because clearly the value is with you, and she's a lucky girl for understanding that. What does it mean when you had a few dates and she cut you off abruptly? That means she don't fuck with you. That means she doesn't find you attractive. She thinks you're a waste of her time. She didn't even bother trying to put you in the friend zone. She just doesn't like you. That's what it means. She doesn't like you. So you clearly did everything incorrectly up to this point. Do with that information what you must. Let's see. Bro, I'm reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck right now. Very good book, by the way. Y'all can now celebrate getting here before I am. Yeah, that's true, Philip. You're a little late. I was watching Digital Pre-Selection. I had to drop it because I don't do enough cold approaches. Type shit. I told you, even in the course of something I mentioned, you gotta supplement your life with, online dating. It shouldn't be the point of your fucking dating. It should be a supplement to it, right? Cold approaches is sales. Online dating is marketing. Gorilla Game, Magic Hour, yank him out. Yank him out is crazy. And have a feeling it'll affect my game long term since it's supposed to be an amplifier. Yes. What's up, Jace? Digital Pre-Selection is fire so far. Reminds me of Dark Game. A lot of dark shit in there for sure. How you doing, by the way, Rhea? She like it. I already read that one. Thanks, man. Good advice. No problem. I asked a coworker girl to do me a favor, like bring my phone, take this and there and here, blah, blah. She has a boyfriend, but always does the favors. When she sees and talks to me, she smiles a lot, but doesn't start any conversation off me. She admitted that I am big, gym body. Like, yeah, you're a fucking mountain. Oh, interesting. She finds you attractive. Zerka says to never make it sexual on a first date. so she'll be cool with you dropping her anxiety. I disagree with that. I fundamentally disagree with that. Because here, like, it can work for Zerka. I understand why he's giving the advice, though. For him, it'll work. Because Zerka not giving, or just guys like me and Zerka in general, us not doing anything sexual is still going to sexualize the date naturally. Like, because of the way we are, the way we move, the way we talk, all that kind of stuff, the kind of energy we carry. Zerka can try his best to not create sexual tension. He's going to, because of the kind of person he is. That advice isn't going to work for most people, though. Like, if you tell the average man, just go on the date and don't try to make it sexual, that guy's going to find himself in the friend zone by the second date. Straight up. Straight up. Because he is not Zerka, he is not me. For most men, you will have to do something on purpose to create sexual tension. So, yeah, I wouldn't take that advice. Take it with a grain of salt, right? But again, don't even listen to me or Zerka. Go fucking practice. Go see what happens out there in the field. Let's see. I did, but it's no use. He won't listen. Oh, there, that one. Any advice for having a stutter when approaching women? Do you only have the stutter when you're approaching women? Because if that's the case, the problem isn't the stutter. The problem is your nervousness. Your inability to handle the tension that comes with talking to a woman you don't know. So I would say just keep talking to women as often as you can until the stutter just goes away, because it will. If the stutter is nervousness induced, you just have to do the thing long enough to where you don't feel nervous anymore, or at least not that nervous. Okay? How to get more versatile with game. The more variety you talk to in girls, the better. Let's see. In a turned on way. That's the girl that was calling you a mountain. Good. She likes you. If all else being equal, how can a shorter guy beat a tall guy with women? A lot of tension. He has to represent more tension than the tall guy. Now he has to overcompensate to do it. The tall guy is going to have an easier time for sure. But the shorter guy can overcompensate with a lot of like power, status, and just representing danger. He has to become a threat to the woman. The problem with being a smaller guy is the lack of a threat you pose to women. If you can find a way to make women genuinely fear you, like are intimidated by you, you have won literally 80% of the battle. That's what makes being short like a big deal or a bad thing, if you want to call it that. It's just the lack of fear or danger you represent. If you can fix that part, you're straight, man. You're straight. A lot of short guys killing it out here. But again, they usually have to overcompensate. Like I'm talking like massive tattoos and piercings. I'm talking a change in the huskiness of their voice. They got to hit the gym and look a certain way. They got to do some massive changes to themselves, aesthetically especially. Like they might have to go bald. They might have to, get piercings in the weirdest places, stuff like that. But if you can really deal with that, like that aspect, just looking dangerous, you'll be fine. You'll be very fucking okay. Let's see. Do I make it harder for her to come back? You don't make it harder necessarily, but you make sure she pays a price. You make sure she does something to, she makes some kind of sacrifice in the way of coming back. You don't want her to have just an easier time coming back. Stuff you said last group chat was wild, indeed. Any specifics on how to get casual with a Russian girl who is also a coworker you don't see often? That's interesting. And then that's more specific than I can even give you. But like, how far in this have you gone though? Is this a girl you're already talking to on the phone, or like what's the issue there? How, like, if you're not even talking to this girl, you probably got to solve for that problem first before we start talking about the getting casual part. So let's solve for that problem if you haven't already solved that problem yet. How do you convey high status with cold approach? That's where tension comes in. What helps you create the perception of high status is your tension, is the amount of tension you represent to the women. A woman off what? I'm doing great too, Maria. I would like to know is when she no longer obeys. I'm talking in order to avoid being used and never getting some. Oh, like when to cut off a woman to avoid being used and stuff like that. Okay, let me put it like this. If you approach dating in general from a point of view of I don't want to get used, you've already fucked up. You've already fucked up. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's your carefulness around not getting used that makes it easy for you to get got. You know the easiest person to scam? And I'm saying this as a Nigerian. Straight up. I know scammers. I know actual scammers. You know they all say the easiest person to get to scam is the person that is the most paranoid about getting scammed. That's the person to scam. Why? Because they're so paranoid, they're so drenched in their own paranoia, they can't even see the scam when it's in front of them. The same thing on a psychological level happens to you when you're dealing with women. If you approach a woman and the first thing that you're thinking about is, I hope this woman doesn't use me, that's all your mind will be inundated with. And then eventually, even by accident, she'll use you. So let's start with that. Let's not go dealing with women thinking about, I don't want to avoid getting used, or I want to avoid getting used in general. Secondly, all you have to do is look at the level of compliance you're getting back. That's really what it comes down to. If the level of compliance you're getting back is not matching the level of investment you're putting in, cut it off. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Charge it to the game, move on, talk to the next girl. Also, and this is part of it, don't get overly invested in one girl. This is why I keep telling you guys, talk to multiple women. If you're talking to multiple women and you have an abundance and you have options, then you'll never make the mistake of overly investing in one of them. It just won't happen because your time and attention will be spread across many different women, right? So keep those in mind. Let's see. Well, I'll go on. Well, the locks, how you doing, man? How you doing? Salute to you, bro. I was wondering if you create too much tension to the point where she can't handle it. Is it then your fault for overdoing it, or is it her fault for not having the ability to take it? It's a combination of both. I would rather blame you because I was saying it's the man's fault, right? But for the most part, it's going to be your fault because even if she doesn't have the ability to take it, you should be smart enough to gauge it at some point. Maybe not in the beginning when you're still trying to figure things out, but after some point, it should be fairly easy for you to gauge whether a woman can handle a certain level of tension or not. And you should have like the wherewithal to know before you even begin to create tension, you know? I was born with a stutter. I have speech blocks. Okay, cool then. If you have to use online dating to supplement for your stutter, that's cool too. If not, is there a way for you to demonstrate power, status, and the ability to create attention with a woman, even though your speech might be slow? Because that's all a stutter is. A stutter is just, your language having speed bumps. That's all it is, right? You're communicating the same thing I'm communicating, but you're not doing it as fast as I am because there's a bit of a speech or a mental block there. Which, by the way, can you not also just clear the stutter itself? If you were to clear the stutter, and this is very important, this is going to be key what I say. I don't know how you're going to take it, but I'm going to say it to you anyway. The journey of clearing your stutter, right, and getting your mind right enough to not have those mental blocks as you talk will make you so much more a confident man for your approaches. It'll put you at such a leg up, it's not even funny. So I would almost say focus on doing that, like clearing the stutter and going through the journey that it'll take you to go through to clear the stutter and then go from there. Because I think you can. I know you can. I've seen people do it. I had a kid that I grew up with. He used to stutter like a motherfucker throughout middle school, high school. By the time we graduated, he was completely talking like I am right now. A little too fast, honestly. Yeah, yes, I can do that. Good. Go do that. Go through the journey of becoming the guy that can speak clearly and coherently, right? That's what you want to do. And then that becomes a fun story you can tell women in the future. Like, hey, I used to have a stutter. And they'll be like, what? Really? Yeah, I did. It's a very interesting story there. Then you tell them. Makes you far more interesting. And there's nothing more impressive than overcoming yourself. Because that's what a stutter is, right? It's a self-imposed block. It's a psychological block. Overcoming resistance from the outside is one thing, and it's hard enough, but overcoming resistance from yourself, that's very impressive. Are we talking about the same Zerka, the one that hangs out with Sneeko? Yes. I know we always say that the man is responsible, I agree, but in certain cases, isn't it just a self-esteem issue? Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it's not like her self-esteem isn't something you can look to and blame and stuff like that, for sure. But at the same time, Be smart. Like, figure out. I keep telling you guys, there's a correlation between her looks and her self-esteem. If you can just keep that in mind, dating will be very easy for you. I have a pretty soft face. Do you think that I should overcompensate in sexual tension in order to avoid being friends with a boyfriend zone? Have you actually tested yourself? Are you sure your soft face is actually hindering you, or have you just told yourself that story? Right? What evidence do you actually have that your soft face has hindered you? I bet you none. So go and test it out first. Like, figure out if your soft face is actually getting in the way. Because I too have a soft face, and that ain't stopped me yet. So, then again, I have a beard. So, do with that information what you must. Basically, what if you, when being authentic, congruent, etc., elicit a certain level of anxiety, and a girl is struggling to keep up, but barely does or just doesn't? Is it then your fault to correct that, to move on, or to coach her? If it's authentically who you are and she can't, keep up, you can either throw her away, or if this is a girl you choose to invest in, you can coach her up and get her self-esteem up. But for the most part, yeah, the decision is still up to you. You know what I mean? It's being like, can she have higher self-esteem? How? She can't do it without your help. You know what I mean? So no matter how you slice it, it's still up to you. All right, I gotta go soon, guys. I gotta be out of here soon. I gotta bounce. But why doesn't she start a conversation with me more? Also, she gave me a coupon for shoes. That's cute. Because women don't start conversations first. I don't know who gave you that expectation, but they're wrong. Women usually, right, especially when you haven't actually been inside them before, they have a way of looking at things that puts them as the prey and you as the predator, right? They want to be the one getting chased. Not to say that you should be literally chasing these women, but yeah, women are too fucking prideful, dude. Women have like it's not even a pride thing. I don't really think it's a pride thing. I would call it a pride thing, and they try to make it sound like it's a pride thing. I would never say hi to a man for, it's not a pride thing. It's a fear thing. Women are very fearful of rejection. They are very terrified of what might happen if a man says no to their advances. So keeping things on the safe side, just make the first move. It's okay. It'll change when you start fucking her. It's fine. So is long hair on a short guy a no-go? If you can make the long hair look cool and interesting, sure. There's nothing. It's like there's no rules to long or short hair. It's just if you can make it something that truly adds to your personality, that's cool. Let's see. I read that one. Previous work. Don't think she would do that to others, but I don't overrate it. I have another coworker now that's saying she's really nice to me. Her looks are great, a lot of work, big clean hair, pretty fit. Okay, at what point is it okay to be direct with a girl? That's a very interesting question. Like, when you say at what point, are you talking about during the interaction? Like, now I'm gonna be direct? That's not how it should happen. You start out indirect, tease, flirt, blah, blah, blah. You make her jump through hoops for you. You ask her for compliance. She gives you compliance. You reward the compliance by giving her a heartfelt compliment. Once the heartfelt compliment is given, the interest is shown. That is how you give the interest. Is when she knows that her doing something for you in some way impresses you so much that it inspires you to give her a heartfelt compliment, something that you choose to tell her about her that you think is so cool about her, right? Maybe it's for opening up to you. Maybe it's for giving you certain kind of information about herself. Maybe it's for telling her more about certain things about her that she can do and stuff like that. That's when she knows, oh, okay, this guy actually appreciates me. This guy likes me. Maybe he sees a future with me of some kind. That's how it happens. It's not like you just like, oh, I'm going to be direct now. Let me pull out my dick. Like, no. Chill out. Why does family not understand that they are either with you, with your vision, or against it? Because family wants you to just stay the young little boy they knew you as. They want to keep you safe. They don't want to see the world break your heart, but they don't understand that you can handle the heartbreak. Family just wants to keep you safe, but they might look like enemies of progress, but they're not. They want to keep you safe. It's just family. Let's see. Damn, sorry. Really, a dude got to get ripped, making this 100 times harder for myself. Type shit, type shit. Do you also think it's best to go as far as possible into the darkness or shadow of your mind in order to then travel back to the light, understand and control it better? You can do that, and honestly, I would personally advise that, but I feel like a lot of men can't do that anyway because most men are just too fucking pussy to go through that, you know. Let's see. Making yourself more congruent altogether because you've mastered every aspect of yourself. Type shit, type shit. Does the level of tension you have directly correlate with the level of comfort the replacement is the level of superficial requirements like height, races? What are we talking about? Does the level of tension you have directly correlate with the level of comfort the replacement? What are we talking about? I have questions there. Let's see. Does being okay with whatever consequence automatically help you be cool or being used? Type shit, yeah. Like, being okay with whether you have to charge it to the game in the future or not automatically makes you a cooler individual. I'm doing that right now by going deeper into the shadows. Any advice from your perspective? Embrace it. Embrace your fucking fallen nature. It's okay. Don't be scared of it. It's part of us. It's part of the creature we are. Don't be scared of it. So is it better to let the tension implode than not to create enough? Literally. I would rather the tension implodes than not create enough. Because at least then when it implodes, I get remembered. It's better for a girl to remember you and never speak to you again than a girl to never register you to begin with. And it's the tension that you use as your stamp of psychological, impact in her. Let's see. By the way, what would your advice be to become more congruent self-actualization? That's something that the universe will test into you. That's not something I can give you advice for. All you can do is decide who you want to be and then move in it. The moment you start moving in who you decide you are now, the universe will do its thing and orchestrate things in your life to test that, to see if that's who you really fucking are. If you stand 10 toes down on it, right? Passing those tests is how the universe knows, okay, this is who you really are. Cool. That's who you are now. You can now have the right and the license to say, I am this for real. But yeah, if that all I give you any advice is just stand 10 toes down. That's it. Stand 10 toes down. Jace, resend what you sent to me via... Okay, I will. All right, guys. I gotta bounce. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will be here, hopefully, if I can, tomorrow. I have a lot to do tomorrow. But if I can, I will be here again. And we'll talk some more. And hopefully I can be here longer, too. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Please actually practice the game that I give you. Go and use it and see results for yourself. And then do with all this information what you must.